So hello guys, good evening. So you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So yeah, I'll be doing a presentation on Sanity today. This topic was brought to my notice by my TL. So and to be honest with you guys, I'm also like very still learning this technology. So if I miss something or happen to say something wrong, please feel free to like interrupt me in between. Okay. So with that all in place, let's start. So the topics that I'm gonna cover today are why Headless CMS exists, what is Sanity exactly, why do we use it, and a quick demo following this presentation. So Sanity falls under content platform. So what exactly is a content platform? Content platform is basically what treats all our apps, websites, the data. The content is basically data for the content platforms. So in the earlier days, what used to happen is we used to have HTML websites wherein like all the data was directly embedded within the code itself. Now the issue with this was obviously scaling up the projects. Like the more the project, more the slides. So you have to like keep embedding everything. This was not a suitable thing. Then comes something called as next generation. That's CMS, content management system. Popularly known as one of them is the WordPress. Here the content was actually stored in a database and then queried from a query language to the HTML markup. So here everything seems great. Like so, you have all your data. You have to just dump it into a database, use some programming language, show it onto your screen. Now everything works fine till here, unless you decide to working to some JavaScript fancy new JavaScript framework, or say you want to display the same content on like iOS or Android devices, or maybe you want to like say have multiple views for the same content on a single application. All these issues gave rise to something called as Headless CMS. Now, what exactly is Headless CMS? Well, it is a tool that turns our content into like a cloud-based API so that it can be accessed from any applications. And since it is like cloud-based, all your content is basically on the cloud. So you have to only write your content and everything goes into, you have to just query the content from your front end. And since it is like completely decoupled from your application code and your database, you can like take it with you anywhere. As you can see on the image that on your right, like the front end, there's the back end, and then the API. So it's all the things are separated and nothing is like is a one package. Now instead of starting from scratch, like you can directly build your own schemas and add multiple fields in it, like text or images, add multiple numbers, create and then create the relationships between these schemas, like how you would create in the regular traditional relational databases, like people who have worked with the regular like MySQL and all, like how you create the relationship between the different tables, documents. That's how you create in here in a much easier way, I will say. So now if you see, it's a, like a big win for us as a developer. Now we can like query the content from any code base in a most consistent and a structured way. So my purpose of telling you all about headless CMS and all this is to gather your attention to a specific tool that I am going to tell is Sanity. So what is Sanity? Sanity is like a very popular choice among Jamstack applications. Jamstack stands for JavaScript API Markup. So and Sanity covers the API part of it. So Sanity is like a platform where like you can store all of your data into apps and websites. One cool thing about Sanity is its headless CMS. It's also known as Sanity Studio, which we will be going to see later after the presentation. It is a dashboard where like you can edit, update, collaborate, pretty much do anything that you want with your content. Also, it is open source studio, so you can like model your content with JavaScript and manage it in the browsers. And in the meanwhile, all your content is like stored into a cloud, what is also known as cloud lake, wherein you have to just push it. So when we say we push the content to the cloud, it goes to the their terminology, which is also known as the cloud lake, which you can like query from your front end application quickly. Now the most important thing is that it is open source and built with React. So you can like customize it for all of your projects. So if you know React, It's a go-to tool for your guys. Now covering the 4 points that are listed on your slides, ultra portable structure content. It means like the whenever in Sanity they store all of your data in a JSON format, which is rich JSON. So what it means is like you can like where now the data it can be passed from one place to another in very portable way. You don't have to rely on just one thing or have to like store it somewhere. Second point is like customized editor environment, which means like you can create new fields just by adding two fields, which I'll show you all. Like by just adding type and title, and that's what all you need to create a new fields or to create a new document. The Grok, the Grok is actually a in-house Sanity product. There's a query language that is they have developed it based on the GraphQL. If you all know GraphQL, you all will easily understand Grok. And even if you all like don't know or don't understand GraphQL, Grok is not that hard. I will say like I could also understand it like within 2 or 3 days. So it's easy for understanding purpose, and it's also very fast. I will say. So Grok stands for Graph Relational Object Queries. So it's used to filter your database or join them and project the data the way you want. Just like in like merge application, you just get the object and like query it same way. And flexible pricing. One more best thing about the Sanity is their pricing, which they don't go about sharing much, but their pricing is very good and reasonable, I would say, compared to other CMS that are going in the market these days. Also like if you have bought a certain package of theirs like then you can like also add more add-ons to it and pay for that only. So these are the few things that Sanity covers. Now I would say now how I would like to show off the setup. Now I can't set it up entirely because it will take time, so I have few screenshots taken over here. You guys can see. To install Sanity, first you'll have to go to either their sanity.io. From here, there you can see like you can either click on either one of them, like get started. So let's. So from here, you can either do it CLI way, or you can create copy paste these the previously created projects. Like these are the templates that already exist. So from here, we'll do the CLI way. So you have to just copy this and then you have to go to your terminal and do just paste it. So what this command will do is it will install the Sanity CLI. There's a command line interface for the Sanity globally, and also initialize a package, Sanity package for us. Then it will prompt us to like create a new project, or if you're having existing one, then you can select one. So we will select on the create new project one and go through it. After that, it's gonna ask us to prompt a name. Now during the name, you have to take the few things to keep in mind is you have to follow the React conventions. Like in React, no special characters or no uppercase letters allowed. Same way with Sanity. So you have to keep that in mind. After that, it's gonna ask us for the data set configuration. Now, in a Sanity project, like you can have multiple data sets for one particular project, but by default there is only one, that's production. So we'll keep it as by default and just keep say enter. After this, gonna show us the output part of us. So we have to just check it. Mostly you guys will know like where it's gonna rest. But if you don't know, you can always copy this path. So this is where exactly your Sanity project will be landing. Once that's done, it is going to show us this prompt us this screen, wherein there are like 4 options over here. Like there is a movie, there's a e-commerce, there's a blog, and there's a clear schemas. Now from this, the top two, movie and the e-commerce one, are default templates with already predefined schemas as well as dummy data. So if you get this, then you will have predefined schemas and some dummy data to work on. The block schema will be having only the predefined schemas and not the dummy data. So you'll have to create your own data and use it. And the clear one is like completely new. You have to like completely start it from the scratch. Once that is done, then it will show us this now what. So that's what it will ask us. So from here, we'll have to so this is how it will look once it's installed. So this is the folder structure of the Sanity, I will say. So from here, the most important thing is the schema itself, if you guys can see, and the sanity.json. Sanity.json is the most important file among all of them, is because it's having this project ID. Now, to communicate between your front end and to your backend, you need this project ID. So this will be provided with you in the sanity.json, or you can also write sanity manage in a CLI. It will take you to that page. So to keep in mind is this one, the project ID, is to communicate with your front end. I'll show that in a bit. And after that, there is second thing, that's schemas. So this is the second most important thing, I would say. So these schemas are basically your tables, like from where you want. These are documents that you show you that you'll have to specify. To understand this more, let's just see the dashboard that we were talking about. So in this dashboard, basically they have, okay, over here we have these three things, as you guys can see. There is post, author, and categories. So this is same as what we have discussed over here, what we have defined over here, I would say. That's post, category, and author. Schema over here is a separate file wherein you have can define more number of create more tables, documents, and then you have to import it over here, and you just have to list it down as the way they have already done over here. So this is why the schema file is over here, and the block content is actually beyond the scope of this presentation, like because like I've said, like block Insanity, they store your content in a rich JSON format. So for that, this file is needed. So we'll skip this file for now. So coming back to this, as you can see, post in the post, what we have is a title, slug. So you see, creating fields is this easy. You have just one thing like name, title, type. That's all to create one field. So this is same as the title. Then there's a slug. Then there is a author. There's an author over here. You see the type is reference, so you can reference like creating those what do you call special keys within relational database. It's same like that. You have to just create, give a reference, type to author, then main image and everything. So I'll just create one over here. Like I'll give a title as first post, generate a slug, add a author, and then upload a main image. Let's see this one. Now about the image, one more thing is you can like create a hotspot for the image, like which exactly is what you want to show even on the slow or medium screens. So like see wherever I'll move this one, the lower ones will always focus on that particular point. So say I just want to show the desktop, so I'll just move it. So see if you can see and save. Once that's done, if we want to add categories, published at, so we'll add the current date itself. And in body, so I say we are adding some data. That's all, and just hit publish. This everything will be happening in a real time, so very fast, I would say. Now, if you see in a post, already one post is already created over here. Now we can create multiple posts over here, or we can like just edit the single one. So by creating, we can by inspecting this. Now, what the inspect will be give us the JSON format or the pass format of this particular data, like how you get a JSON format or what of this document will get. Like there will be the ID of the document, the main image, the ID for that, the slug, the title. So everything is over here. You get And if you want to see certain number changes like the first post, head, see, I made the change, and if I publish it, now say I want to do one more. Now it's gonna show me like what all changes I have done and who have done that also it shows. So if we don't want the change, we can just revert it. It will not do that. So this tool is very handy, like I would say. Now this is the desktop version of it. Now the another way to query this data is GraphQL. The one which I was talking about is the Grok. So if you don't know Grok, then all you need is like say I want to get the document. So what I'll have to do is just type all from like type and post, since it was named as post, and just fetch. So it will give me the currently posted all the posts that are there. So currently this post was created. See the first post title. So this is how I can query it. So the star stands for basically all, and the type is what type of we are created. Now can narrow this down even further by saying title, comma. Say the title is there, then we need say we want the slug. Say we also need the main image. Let's just fetch, and that. So whatever we request, we'll be getting it over here. So we'll be getting a title, we are getting the slug, we are getting the main image. So these three things we had requested, we can even narrow it down further by saying, say, we need assets from it. So this is how the graph query actually basically works. So you can like just keep going, keep going, and keep going. So this is the desktop view of the Sanity. So the other one I would say is this works as a real time. Now, if I see like I can create one more author over here. Name generator server and publish. So it will sync directly over here. If you guys see, so if I don't want this author, so I can just so if I don't want this author, so I can just select over here and select for replace it. Select the second one that we had created and publish. Now it will show the recently created one. So this is how we can like push the data to the Sanity. Now the putable text that I was talking about is about this body tag. I will say like whatever you type in here will be stored in a very rich format of a JSON. To query that we will require an extension that's inbuilt in React. So now see, let's create one more post. Let's understand what these schemas are. So like we have seen, now let's try to create one schema. A separate field, I will say like let's just say name. Let's say name equal to rating.
Embrace it within curly bracket.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then comes title.
A comma after that, close curly bracket.
Thank you. I rating and then say we want the type of number. If we refresh this, it will show us. So it will show the recently created field. So you see, like it was just easy to like just create a new field in no time. So now let's just go a little more deep in it. Like let's just add some validations. So here, like just say validate. The first argument it always takes is by default is the rule one, and then rule dot. So it will show us now like minimum it will always show the one. If we go below it, it is going to show us an warning maybe. It must be equal to one. So if we go up, it will. So all these most schema types we can refer to their docs. Like over here they have mentioned like what all schema types we need. There is array, there's block, boolean. We can like check individually. Currently I did the number one. We can add more validations and like get more crazy with this if we want to try. So say the number one. So we want to add more validation. We can just check over here and we can add more of them. So that's Sanity, I would say, just the backend. There's one more thing I would like to show is how to create it from backend to front end. So here I have created one React project with it. So here, so this is my the React project and the Sanity lies in this backend. I've created it within the same folder. So here, Sanity. Start. So I'm just starting it. React as well as the Sanity Studio. So both of them are here. This is the React folder and this is the backend. So in this folder, there is just one change. So this is the blog application that I've made. So over here, the thing is that the Sanity is not yet started. Okay, it's working now. So in this application, first in the React, what you have to do is once you create this, you have to just do one change over here. Is that add this client.js file. You have to create the client.js file and just add this. If you see, this is the project ID that we had been, which I had told you all about. So this project ID is coming from sanity.json, or you can also check it on sanity.manage. So this is the project ID that we use to connect this Sanity backend to the front end of our React. So this thing you can also add also the data set for production. So with these two lines of code, you can connect the backend to your front end. Also, one more most important thing I will say is the uh, when you try to run this, initially you might get a cross errors. The cross error is like you can solve that error by coming to your sanity.manage to try, and then the project that you are working on. Then you have to click on API, and in that API you will have to add a. You can see over here cross origin. You have to add that origin over here. So here I have added my React origin. So with because of this, now I can send an ARCS data from this Sanity backend. Else it will show me a cross origin error. Now this is the block that I've created. Like you can see there are these pages. Now this from where I'm getting this content. This content is already there. in Sanity that I've already created. So over here, I had already created these 3 blocks. You can see these 3 blocks are already created. So these are the same one that I'm querying from my React front end. So yeah, like if I want to see more, then I can see more. If I want to go to block page, and if I don't want something, then we should, and I can come back to that. So to query this, so this is a small app like I just showed like how to like query the database. Now the part over here is to know how to query it, like how to query from front end to back end. Like typically we would use actions or like fetch. In for this we'll have to use graph query or maybe GraphQL. So the syntax is as follows: like you have to like add, this is the client that we had created over here. So and also we have to install the client CLI. So we have to like client.fetch. So star stands for everything. We have to declare the type, what it is, and then just list down what all things we need. So here this, and just then follow as we will do in any other React project. Just list them down and create the front end. Same way for the single page. Like if you want to, over here I'm using the use param, the slug.current. So if you are not getting what this command will give us return, then we can just copy it. Come over here. Fetch the data. And this is what it will. Okay, this is some other. Okay, this is not the same managed one. Okay. I'll have to close this one and then again return it to show that. So basically, this is the query that I would like show. So that's all I would say like for this now. All right.